left Mexico. What? I just loudly proclaimed in my last video that I wasn't leaving Mexico. And I left Mexico. Welcome to Vancouver Island in July. I have to be honest with you, it is even more beautiful here than I remember. For anyone who's new here, I live in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. I moved there at the start of this year. And in my last two videos, I talked about losing my salary 4 months into my stay there and deciding to stay anywhere. And then, somewhat contradictory, I booked a flight to Canada, but I'm only here for the summer. And then I go back to Mexico. Here's why. The actual version of why I've done this. It includes a dog, a borrowed house, a business I can't let slide, and friends I've not seen in months who are very good at convincing me just to have some fun. People who live abroad will tell you that the summers are the hardest, not because of the heat, although Puerto Vallarta in August and September are genuinely brutal, 40 degrees and sticky. And I'll end up spending most of it inside the air-conditioned apartment anyway with the blinds drawn. So the hardest part about being anywhere in the summer is the missing of your friends and family. I also are missing the sunrises in July, things that can't be replicated in other places. I have been self-employed for most of my life, and I have always believed that a life that only has work in it eventually stops producing good work. You need the other things, the walks, the belly laughs, the dinners, all the things that you do with your friends that you realize you can't do anymore when you're somewhere else. So I came back. I was really missing my friends, not because Mexico's not working, because this matters too. My mental health, the trip is costing me way more than staying in Mexico would have. I talked about that in the last video, but I've prepaid my rent. I've had to reinstate my car insurance. I booked a flight with my dog. That's never cheap. None of this is free. I came anyway because some things are just worth paying for, and this is one of them. What this summer is about is it's not a holiday. It's more like an experiment. Can I visit, move around, and still work my business? The first month I'm here, I'm dog sitting in my friend's house, my dog, their dog, but I have a proper kitchen, a table to work from. This is essentially the easiest month of all of them. I have a routine, a reason to sit at a desk, and a structure that more or less resembles my life in Mexico. After that, I'm floating around Vancouver Island. I'll be staying with friends for stretches, no fixed address, no permanent office, a dog that I can't leave in the car while I go work in the library because that's kind of really no bueno in the summertime. But the work doesn't stop. The business cannot take a summer break. My income just doesn't support it. 3 months off would be hugely detrimental to me. I started to build this infrastructure in Mexico, the desk, the routine, the quiet apartment, the predictable days. Okay, not so quiet apartment construction. So this is going to be a challenge for me. It's an experiment of being unsettled and still focusing on my business, my income. Not whether I can enjoy Vancouver Island. I know I can. I grew up here. I know all the hidey holes. It's so beautiful. Whether I can enjoy it and still push my business forward, well, that I'm less sure about. People have asked me if I'll return to Mexico. It's hard for me to explain my lifestyle to people who don't live like me. People who crave routine and stability don't really get me. Don't misunderstand. I sometimes crave stability too. However, it's just not my go-to. And I can sit there for about 6 months. So yes, of course, I'm going back to Mexico. I love the winters there. For me, Puerto Vallarta is not a phase I'm going through. It's a commitment. It's a commitment I made to myself, and I am incredibly bad at commitment, but I'm sticking to this one because it's a deliberate choice I made about the life I want to have. A slower pace, a lower cost of living that gives me room to build something. A warmth that is just not about the temperature. A community of women from all over who choose to be somewhere different. Women like me. Being here for the summer doesn't change any of that. If anything, it clarifies it for me because only a week into my stay here, I've noticed some of the things I no longer want in my life, like how fast everything moves here, traffic, how busy I feel. Mexico slowed me down in a way I didn't know I needed until I left. I'll miss many things when I return to Mexico in September. I will miss these people. I love my people. I'll also miss the particular smell of the ocean here, which is completely different from the smell of the ocean in Puerto Vallarta. The smell of the forest, watching Loopy run through the forest is one of my favorite things. The smell of fresh cut grass, I miss that so much because that is what it means to have chosen a life. So it'll be hard to leave. But for now, I want you to know I'll be filming through the summer, the good parts, the harder parts. If you want to follow along, subscribe. And if you're somewhere in your own version of this, trying to hold two lives, two places, some sort of duality in your life together at once, you're not alone. And I would love to hear from you in the comments because sometimes I feel like I'm the only one that likes to live like this. So if there's somewhere on Vancouver Island that you would love to see that I can get to in the next couple of months, please let me know and I will be happy to be your tour guide. Otherwise, I will see you next week.